Our golden retriever puppy is 5 months old now. Do you feel 5 months old? He looks 5 months old. He is so much bigger now, aren't you? You're so much bigger now. So I just want to get on here and give you guys a little update of how he's doing, things that have changed, things that are still the same. His schedule is pretty much the same still, but we'll kind of go over that. He's definitely getting a lot better at obeying, being able to take commands and actually do it, whereas before he was just kind of like, yeah, I don't get it. Like just too hyper, I think. I don't know. A little bit of teenage disobedience and wanting to kind of test the boundaries, but overall he's doing really well. So first I'm going to talk about sleeping. His sleeping has been amazing. He is actually sleeping all through the night now. We actually don't have to worry as much because he does so good. Every once in a while, after maybe swimming, like right before bed for a long time, I think he takes in a little too much water, and then he ends up having to get up every, few hours to go out. So we try not to have him go swimming too late. And there's been a couple of times that he got into something like, what did you eat? He tests everything by putting things in his mouth. So it's kind of frustrating, but there's been a couple of times where he ate something and it did not settle well and he had to go out to go to the bathroom a couple of times. But for the most part, he is sleeping through the night. It's been great. And not just sleeping through the night, but he's actually waking up later, which is really nice. So right now the routine is we take him for a walk at night, and then when we get back, we kind of start to settle down. We go up to our room and cuddle with him in bed for a little bit. And then once he starts to really conk out, we'll just have him get down and go into his crate, and then he just goes right to sleep. And then he doesn't wake up until about, I want to say 7 in the morning, unless we get up earlier. As for potty training has been great. We haven't had any accidents at all. He goes to the bathroom outside. He uses his doggy door. If he can't get out to his doggy door, he still hasn't had any accidents. If he's up in our room and he needs to go downstairs, we keep the door shut because we don't want him going down the hallway into the kids' rooms and stuff. You never know what you're going to find there. So if he's in our room, we keep the door shut, and he'll just sit by the door and wait until we're ready to go out. So he hasn't had any accidents, so that's been really good. One thing that's been kind of weird is now that we're taking him on walks around our neighborhoods and things like that, he will not go to the bathroom on our walks. I don't know if he waits till he gets home. I don't know what is wrong. He just doesn't go to the bathroom. He'll sniff around and he runs around getting in all the new smells, but he will not go to the bathroom. Okay, socialization. This one's been really fun. We have had such a busy month, so we haven't done quite as much as I wanted to, but he did get to do a lot of fun things. We went to the water park one day and we were worried about leaving him here all day by himself. He hasn't been alone at home too often. So my amazing niece, who works at a dog grooming and daycare place, offered to take him into work with her so he could get to know some other dogs and play. And then she gave him a bath and she said he did amazing. So that was really cool because he hadn't really been around a whole lot of dogs. Another time for 4th of July, all of my family came over and my sister brought her 2 dogs. It wasn't the greatest experience. He hadn't been around other dogs for a while, so this was kind of his first experience being around dogs again. And so it didn't go well. My sister's dog was very protective of her other dog, and since they were both here, they were just not really getting along. He barked a lot at Oakley and it wasn't good, and it kind of scared him. So I was hoping that he wouldn't be all damaged from it, but he was fine. He went to the daycare the next week and he was like, dogs are good. He got to meet some other golden retrievers. I didn't get to go and take him to meet my friend's golden retriever yet, so we still have that on the books. But I did actually have someone reach out to me on Instagram who happens to be Oakley's sister. And so her and I soon are going to try to get together and get them together. So that'll be really, really fun. They look exactly alike. It's so funny. What's another thing we went and did? 4th of July, he hated the fireworks. He was so scared, didn't like it, and so that was kind of rough. We didn't have any fireworks at our house or anything like that or around him, but like you could hear it all around our neighborhoods and things. So he wasn't liking that very much, but he did get used to the noise. You can expect that once or twice a year. One really fun thing is that we went to the farmer's market. That was so much fun. We took him and it was kind of one of his first experiences just going out around lots of people and other animals, because there was a lot of dogs at the farmer's market too. And what are you doing? And he got to run around and play. He was kind of nervous. He stayed really close to us, but I think he had fun. It was very hot out, so we brought a lot of water and we brought his cute shoes. Everybody was commenting on his little Croc shoes. It was really cute. But we had a lot of fun at the farmer's market, walked around. They had a stand there that had all things like dog treats and different things they could eat. So that was cool. We stopped by that and got some stuff for him for when we're out and have to leave him at home alone. But after that, we ran through the sprinklers, and he didn't really love that. It's kind of one of those splash pad, I think it is. And so he was just kind of like, what is this? And got a little bit wet to cool off, but not much. So we went over to a restaurant called Snooze, and he got to kind of get the first experience of like laying down, being good, settling down while we ate and being patient. And he did great. I even was trying to give him one of his chicken feet to kind of keep him calm. And he's like, no, I'm good. The waitress brought us a bowl for him of water with his ice water to kind of cool him off. And he basically just knocked it over and then laid in it. And he was like, all right, I'm good. So that was a really cool experience. My kids wanted to, one of their bucket list things was to go to Sonic to go get a drink. So we took him with us to do that. We've been trying to drive around with him as much as we can so that he gets better with the car. He's not doing great in the car. He gets nervous still, walks around everywhere. When we're in our van, he just doesn't really know where to sit because we have so many seats in there, and car seats and things. But in our car, when we went by ourselves to the farmer's market, we bought a seat cover that are 4 dogs, and we put that back there so we had the whole place to roam around and sit. So he did well with that. After we kind of got going for a little bit, he whined a lot at first, and then when he settled down, we kind of gave him a chew toy and he was fine. But he still needs some work in that area, so we're going to try to get him in the car a lot more so he can get used to that. Tonight, I might take him to the ice rink with us. Josh has a hockey game tonight, and everybody's been asking me to bring him in, and I'm like, hey, it'll burn off some energy, and since we can't take him for a walk, sometimes the kids will take him for a walk, but mostly it's been Josh and I, because it's kind of our time to go for a walk and talk, and it's fun and get some energy out. So the next thing I want to talk about is his training. Training's been a little bit more difficult this time around. He has gotten so weird. We're used to getting up and taking his food, you want this back? Taking his food and training him with that first thing in the morning, and then, in the evening when we go to feed him. But he doesn't want his food, like he just doesn't care. He just plops down and he lays down and is totally not interested. He's like, I'm not gonna work for my food. I'll just wait you out until you want to just give it to me. And I'm like, so we'll keep putting it on the counter and be like, okay, are you ready now? And then put on the counter, are you ready now? So,
Oakley, come on. And he just does this. Here. Psh. Forget it. Let me know, does your guys' dogs do this when it's time to eat? You want to train them? They just get all lazy and sit around. So I guess we'll just wait until you're ready to work.
So I think what we're gonna do is introduce a midday training with some high value treats. So I think that will help with his training because he's gotten very lazy and he just rolls onto his back and just sits there. But now every single time you try to do any kind of trick with him, he just lays there. But he is so funny. He's so smart. So you know that's not the problem. He's so smart. He's trying to train us that, hey, I don't have to work for my food. So hopefully that will help. But he's doing well with sit, lay down, shake, spin, go to your bed, go to your place. We're teaching him center, so he'll go and sit in between your legs. We've taught him roll over, and a lot of the things it's kind of like he's still working on, but he's just gotten a little bit lazy. So not excited about that, but he's doing so great on walks. We've been taking him on walks. We make him sit before he's allowed to cross any streets, and now he's kind of getting the hang of where like he gets to where we're going to cross the street and he just sits down right away and waits until we say break, and then he'll go with us, and trying to get him to heel. Partway through the walk, we have this kind of green belt that we walk through. So when we get to there, we usually just let him off of his leash because we're usually going pretty late. There's not a lot of people around. So we will let him go off his leash so he can explore a little bit and then work on the recall training and making sure he stays with us. But he's done really well staying close to us. If we get maybe like 3-4 feet away, he, looks up at, we, call him and he comes right running to us. So that's been really good. Hey, I'm not your chew toy. I'm not your chew toy. He's still very bitey and wanting to chew on everything and eat everything and his way of playing. And now he'll kind of sit there and whine and paw at us to play with him if he wants to play. And we're like, hey dude, I'm not in the mood. We're realizing that we need to get a lot more energy out. So it's been so hard trying to go for walks in the morning because even early in the morning, it's hot here. And then we have to wait until so late to go take him for a walk. So I'm excited for the weather to change so that we can take him for walks a little bit later. The kids are all getting ready to go back to school, so it changes our whole routine anyway. So we'll be kind of figuring out what we're going to do when that starts. Another thing that we've done is we have started our kids on taking care of the dog as one of their chores. So we have zones in our house, and every week we change those zones. So each kid will kind of change to the next zone. So we have one for kitchen, one for living room, one for the dining room, and then now we have one for outside and taking care of the dog. So whoever's chore that is, they get to do training with him, they get to feed him, they get to pick up poop, and then clean up the backyard because he can kind of make a mess back there, and with swimming. He has been loving swimming. In fact, he will go and jump. I followed him one day just kind of spying on him, and he just goes outside in the middle of the day, probably 3 or 4 times a day. He'll just go jump in the pool all by himself and just hang out by himself, go for a swim. The problem is he will come in through the doggy door, and it's like his body is a sponge and just soaks up all that water. And then he walks through the house and it's just a huge puddle. So we're getting a lot of mopping done, but we try to catch him while he's still out there so that we can close the doggy door and just leave him out there for a little bit until we can, get a towel and clean him off and dry him off, or let him dry off just from, the heat. He dries off pretty quick from the heat. But he's been kind of crazy where when we are swimming with him, he jumps on people. So we're trying to work on that because it's not very safe. It's not safe, crazy. Some things that he's done, his personality is just so funny because he is a little bit mischievous. He's very playful, but he is so smart. He learned how to open up the baby gate. So if it's not latched really, really well, he'll just paw it open and go right through it. He learned how to open our back door. He pushes down the handle and pushes it open and opens it, even if it's shut all the way. So we have to keep that locked, or he can just open it on his own and walk right in. So it's crazy, but he's definitely learning how to do things around here. So we have to keep a good eye on him. As for leaving him at home, we tried to leave him at home in the crate. And the first time, I think one of the kids came in and put him in there and locked the crate, but they only locked the top and not the bottom part of it. And somehow he squeezed right out of it. So since he squeezed right out, we got home, we went to church. So we were gone for about, 2.5 hours. We get back and he's just running around the house all good to go. And we're like, how'd you get out? And so he actually didn't destroy anything. I did have the camera on and everything so he can see, and he did fine by himself. So the last couple of times that we've had to leave, we knew we were going to be gone for longer, like 4 hours or so. And so we decided to just leave the crate open in this area with the gates and everything closed so that he had a little bit of room to roam, and then he could also use the doggy door to go outside if he needed to go outside. And I just felt like that was a little bit better for being gone so long, but kind of thinking hindsight, I did really want him to be able to stay in his crate because when we go up north, my brother has a dog, we have a lot of things going on. There's a lot more that he could get into and not a lot of ways to block him off. And so we're gonna have to keep him in a crate when we're gone, snowboarding. So he really does need to learn to be able to be in his crate for a little bit longer. So we're gonna have to work on that. And also I realized when we have him go to a babysitter's or something, I don't want them to feel obligated to have to cuddle with him in their bed. He needs to learn to go in his crate at bedtime without having to cuddle first. And then also getting on the furniture, we kind of were like, oh, it's fine. We're just cuddling. But now he's not listening so well when we say, we wanted him to only come up here when we invited him. And he just comes up here whenever he wants. So that kind of backfired also. So in hindsight, learning, don't let them get on the couch until they can very well listen to commands, and then you can invite them on the couch when they're ready. So we're gonna try to work on, keeping him down and then waiting until we invite him up onto the couch so that he understands he's not allowed up here unless he asks first. Right? As far as new things that we've bought for him, we really haven't bought him anything new this month other than we did buy his collar. It's a new collar. It's called a martingale collar, I believe. And it has a little bit of chain on it so that it can tighten up when you walk them so that they're not trying to pull as much when you go take them for walks. That has been a lifesaver. We absolutely love it. So I definitely recommend that. Yeah, as far as everything else, we haven't really tried any new toys. He's really loving playing fetch and just chewing on things, still loves his avocado. And so yeah, he really hasn't gotten bored of all of his toys that he has now. So we'll probably be getting him a few more toys and different things soon. My niece is going to be getting him some new shoes, so I'm excited about that because his poor feet were just kind of shoved into there before and they would kind of start to fall off, and it was definitely too small. So that'll be good. And then we also got a bunch of treats from the farmer's market for him. It was like pig's ears. They even had like heart and liver and I think maybe kidneys, and then some chicken feet and duck feet. So we haven't had him try all of those yet. He's had, and some dried fish. I want to say it was dried salmon. So it was kind of like a pack of everything all at once so that he could, try some different things. So he loves those, but we save those for when we are going to be leaving because we know he gets really sad when we're gone. So we want to give him like a really good high value treat that takes him a while to eat while we're gone. We are loving him. He is starting to get thicker coat and he's turning red. So that's been really fun. So we're having to brush him a lot more and bathing him, but he is in the pool like every day. So it's like I bathe him and then he's in the pool in the next minute. Okay, so I also wanted to go through his schedule with you really quick. Basically, he wakes up about 7 to 8 to go to the bathroom, and he'll lay with us for a little bit. If we wake up early, like at 6, he'll just come back to bed and lay with us. Then he's basically just playing for a little bit, and then he eats. As soon as one of the kids wake up to feed him, then he eats. Then he comes down and he'll just play. He'll lay under our desk while we're working. He'll go for a swim. He's really just kind of doing his own thing most of the day. He'll come play with us for a little bit. He'll come let us know by kind of barking and whining at us. So then he eats dinner around 6 o'clock, and then he plays a little bit more. He'll go swimming again usually and do some training with us. And then usually about 8:30 we'll take him for a walk. It's a pretty long walk. We try to go a mile. And then we come home and we go to bed, and he cuddles with us in bed, and then he goes into his crate and we go to bed for the night. So that's basically his schedule. Not super in depth, but it's nice that he's kind of able to do his own thing and not be so needy, I guess. He's just kind of getting into that teenage phase. Please let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that like button so I know you enjoy these videos so I can make more. I hope you have a beautiful day. Until next time, bye.